What's going on, everybody? How are you all doing? Today I'm going to be talking about the catastrophe, the drama, the breaking news of Digital Foundry's analysis of Redout. If you're watching this video, you probably know what's going on, but if you don't, I'll give you a brief analysis. Basically, Digital Foundry are a YouTube internet place where they analyze games. There you go, I said it. See their performance, resolution, any problems with the game, stuff like that, and compare it quite often to each console and PC. So people that perhaps have multiple platforms, they know which way to go. It does also start massive console flame wars, but I think it started out kind of honest, just to say if you've got Xbox and PlayStation, this is the best place to play this game. Buy it on this platform. I truly believe that's how it started. They all seem decent people. I think that console wars have started because of them also, which they feed into a bit now. It's all fun and games. I mean, most of us laugh at it and find it quite funny. Some people take it extremely seriously, which is even funnier, I think, for the people that find it funny anyway. But anyway, so that's what Digital Foundry do. Now, Digital Foundry basically, I can't say the word, analysed Redout and said that its PS4 Pro is better than the Xbox One X. I'll get to why in a minute. The Xbox One X is a much more powerful console than the PS4 Pro. Coming from an Xbox gamer myself, come at me. But it is, they're the facts. So I'm not talking about games, I'm talking about power. It's more powerful. Most games are 50%, even 100% better looking than on the PS4 Pro with resolution, things like that. So the theme is, we would have thought that the PS4 Pro would have been about 1440p for this game, or even a bit less because it's got a good frame rate, and possibly about 1600, 1800p for Xbox, both locked on both platforms. Now, what shocked people is that the PS4 Pro version runs better than the Xbox, which is quite bizarre. As both systems are quite similar as well. It's not like the Xbox 360 and PS3 where the architecture was completely different. The architecture is almost identical, just barring a few things. So it isn't like developers find it easier to develop for one or the other. The Xbox is slightly harder, but it's by the by. So what shocked a lot of people is the Xbox One X and Digital Foundry lacks performance into the PS4 Pro. It spent a lot of its time in 1080p, which Digital Foundry pointed out. Now, some people are saying that they looked at it, glanced at it, or played it for 15 minutes and looked at it at their eyes and saw that it was a 1080p. Digital Foundry have thousands of pounds worth of equipment. If they're saying that they saw it at 1080p, it's pretty much fact. Now, the length of time, that's the discretion, that's the debate of what they tested it. But what they tested, they wouldn't have lied. That's what they saw. They saw 1080p and they explained and the hiccups and things like that. Now, this started people raging. I'm talking about the Xbox fanboys raging. This isn't fucking true. It's not fucking true. Our hardware is more powerful than the PlayStation. I'm an Xbox gamer, so you can't attack me, fanboys. So they're saying all that, and then it's basically people started tweeting at the developer. This is a lazy port. You are lazy developers. Yada yada yada. This is shit. You didn't even try. The developers turned around and said, "We woke up the next morning. How dare you judge us? We pour into hundreds of hours. We put our soul into it. We sold our soul to the devil to get this game out. Yada, yada, yada." So, yeah, there's some rumblings of them wanting to take legal action against Digital Foundry as they've hurt their brand. Digital Foundry apologised and said that they will redo the test, as apparently it's got a scalability with the resolution. It goes high and low. I don't think Digital Foundry should have apologised. I think that they perhaps should have turned around and said, we test games for this number of certain minutes of time. At this minutes of time, this is what we saw. It's fact what we saw. I'm sorry that if you put hundreds of thousands of hours of like man hours, and we've summed it up in half an hour. That's what we do for every other game. That's always been fine until you start bitching. I truly believe that the developer is bitching. I understand that it's hurt their feelings. They feel like they're a small company. They shouldn't be hurt like this. All they're showing is fact. Things in my job, I can slug my guts out. If an outsourced agency comes in and says you're not doing a good enough job, you need to change it. We don't cry and we don't bitch. Well, perhaps we do have a bitch, but we still change it to we understand that the problems are there. Perhaps we need to change it. Now these developers aren't saying that. They're saying it's a scalability engine. I still think that's fairly shit. But I understand if it's a resource problem, that's fine. If they can't afford it, that's the best we've got, that's fine. But compared to other games, it's not as good, because I don't want an engine that scales from 1080p to 900p. We didn't see 1080p games scaling back to 360p, so why are we seeing it? I just don't understand. I know that these consoles are a bit of a Frankenstein thing, so it's harder for some developers. But at the end of the day, if you can't afford it to make it a solid 900p, it's fair enough, but don't bitch about people that saying this is hard fact. I completely agree with Digital Foundry. I'm completely with Digital Foundry on this. I hope that they continue their work because they show us decent stuff. Titanfall 2, for example, they showed it basically lacking performance to PS4 Pro. 3 or 4 days later, a patch came out. So they do a lot of work for people. Even PS4 Pro, they'll say this isn't Data 4. Obviously, Codemasters, I couldn't give a shit what a small company compared to them, Digital Foundry says. But Data 4, 1080p on PS4 Pro, you know, it's a bit like, what? What? I don't understand. So it's they do have a lot of merits, and I think that we should keep Digital Foundry around. I believe that perhaps a clause needs to go into their analysis and say that they analyse 50 minutes of a game, so different areas as well, and not just 15 minutes in the same area. I'm sorry if we've missed the good areas of your game, but those 15 minutes that we will compare on consoles. You know, I just don't understand. I don't understand why people are sticking up like for the developer. I understand that they're putting so many hours, and I really feel for them that they feel that their work has been labelled shit because of an analysis. People shouldn't label it shit, but people should say that, oh yeah, that's not too good. If Digital Foundry seen 1080p, it was 1080p at that point in time, which means the game goes to 1080p. So don't say it doesn't. That's my rant over. Please subscribe if you like what you're seeing. I know I'm a bit of a mess all over the place, but hey, some people like it, some people don't. If you don't, fuck off. See you later. Bye bye.